Waiting on Truth Social, and here it is. President Donald Trump. I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel and all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make
Hamas
this historic
and Israel signed off on the first portion.
Blessed are the peacemakers. Again, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, out on Truth Social as we were talking there. Ari, put this in.
Hold on. Let's take a look. Let's read it for ourselves, shall we? I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the very first phase of our peace plan. This means that all hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, and all surrounding nations. And the United States of America, and we will thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. President Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. All right. Well, it's official. Let's see what else they have to say about it.
Historical perspective, knowing all we know about the years and years, decades of turmoil in the Middle East.
Well, what's truly remarkable about this is previous breakthroughs existed between Israel and unique nations, Israel and Egypt, Israel and Jordan. Then you had the Abraham Accords expanding it to a wider group of nations, Bahrain, the UAE. But never before have you had an agreement with Hamas, eight Muslim nations, 7 Arab, 1 nation, Turkey, Muslim nation, Israel, and the United States. That is the breakthrough here. From a humane point of view, it is wonderful and joyous that the hostages will come home. Families can finally, at long last, be reunited. But there are 2 big steps that remain. Those steps are the disarmament of Hamas and Hamas relinquishing
Your
control.
great-great-grandfather was a mediator for the mob?
Are going to be the trickiest ones yet.
Yeah, but see,
the one thing that I'm concerned about is I've read headlines somewhere saying that Hamas refused to lay down their arms. Like, they're like, no, like, we're not going to disarm ourselves, but we do want Israel to leave, which if Hamas doesn't agree to lay down their arms or give up all their weapons and stuff like that, I think that was part of the deal that would be like, yeah, we're canceling this, then we're not going through with it. So I wonder if something changed. I don't know. I hope that maybe they can bring it up. Maybe there's somebody that has something to say about that.
Obviously, the Biden administration was working towards this. They didn't have success. This looks like a major breakthrough. We have, Steve Witkoff, the Middle East envoy, and Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, who obviously was crucial in the last administration for the Abraham Accords, the Gulf states basically establishing relations with Israel. They were crucial to all of this for weeks and weeks. Your thoughts on this big picture and how Democrats maybe will react to it?
Well, I think some Democrats might say that real diplomacy happens in quiet and not necessarily on Truth Social.
You would be correct, Mr. Pirate.
Has oftentimes celebrated before things are inked. However, I do think there will be great bipartisan consensus on this. This is a win for both sides here. I mean, I got the opportunity when I worked for President Biden to get to meet some of those hostages, some of the young children that were released. And I know the impact and the pain that this has had for a lot of those people. And so I think that this will be a great way for Democrats.
Unfortunately, some of these hostages are deceased. So their families are going to be receiving corpses, which that is an unfortunate thing, because I'm sure that the ones that are receiving corpses are going to be very upset about the fact that they are not receiving their child, that they gave birth to whole. So that's going to be a very difficult pill for some people to swallow.
Democrats and Republicans at a time that they're so fraught on the Hill, given the shutdown, to find a
Hamas will release all 20 living hostages. What about the ones that are deceased? Are they just going to keep the corpses? Like, what are they doing? They probably don't have refrigeration. Did they decompose? Or what did they do with the bodies?
Common ground.
You know?
Yeah, Britt, in the wake of October 7th, and
Yeah, they definitely want the bodies as much as if they were alive for sure. But like, what happened to them? The guarantee, if they died months ago, they've decomposed by now. So did they keep the bones? Like, how are they going to be able to do? Are they going to be able to do like a DNA test to make sure that that is actually in fact who they're saying? Like how did they maintain the remains?
obviously we're one day from that anniversary. To look back and all that has transpired, Israel was reluctant at first to get to this point. And it really was President Trump pushing, arguably behind the scenes, Bibi Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister.
Random graves. I sure hope not.
Ceasefire. And the key part, as you mentioned,
some of those deceased hostages are young ladies, or they were when they were alive.
is the hostages, both dead and alive, coming out.
Well, I have to say that there's been an awful lot, as Ari suggested, the ingredients of this are numerous, and they have to do with the Abraham Accords, as was mentioned. They have to do with the attack on Iran, which weakened Iran and made it much less important a player. They have to do with the way Israel determinedly fought this war and defeated Hamas militarily. That doesn't mean they're gone as a terrorist force. But all those things are part of it. And
among the how many
between the president and the prime minister may have been overblown.
Random graves of children that had nothing to do with all of it.
Here we are, and let us just pray that the hostages are released and that the further steps that are contemplated in this deal can go forward. What a new world we'd have.
Yeah, and just moments ago, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu putting out this: "With God's help, we will bring them all home." Ari, it's
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of children get pulled into these things because of the adults.
You think about, and I've had these hostage families on the show many times, and they kept on saying, "Don't forget about us." After all this time, half of them are likely dead, but there are some that are still alive. We think 49, and this will be a major visual if and when this all comes to pass as expected tomorrow.
Man, I can't imagine, dude. Can you imagine being a hostage for 2 years? For 2 years with a Iranian terrorist proxy organization. Like, bro. And meanwhile, while all of that's happening, there are bombs dropping everywhere around you. They're probably having to move you from dark place to dark place. You're definitely not eating good. You're probably not being cleaned. I mean, dude, I can't even imagine, dude. It'll be one of the most horrific things I can imagine a human being could experience.
Remarkable moment from both international diplomacy point of view, but also just that personal, humane point of view. A family to be reunited when they may have given up hope, when they may have wondered if we will ever see our child again. Just imagine you're one of those parents. It's a beautiful moment. When Marco Rubio interrupted that meeting to walk in and hand the president a note, you had to know something was up and it was big. Nobody does that. You don't interrupt a president at an event unless it's extraordinary.
Andy Card.
And that is what led to President Trump then quickly leaving that room and wrapping this up and bringing us to this moment where the hostages may be on the verge of being released.
Yeah, it's truly an amazing sight. Thank you all for rolling with the punches here on the breaking news. Big news out of the Middle East. A deal has been done according to President Trump and Israel and.
Well, that is certainly big news. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on it because, I want to see. Like I said, I heard some conflicting information about whether or not Hamas is willing to lay down their arms or not, and they didn't say anything about it. So I'm going to try to see if I can find out anything about it.